you take shared parental leave?
Well, for me, it was just really about taking the opportunity to spend some time at home with the family, to try to create that bond with our kids who, I think can be difficult sometimes to create that bond from an early age when you're at work all day and get back when they're in bed. So it was just really too good an opportunity to miss, I think, for me.
Yeah, completely. I totally agree. The first time, and I think you've taken 2 stints of shared parental leave as well, so have I. And the first time, it was definitely because in the first few months, I really noticed that I just wasn't getting that quality time with my new child that I wanted. And it was a really good opportunity for us as a family to kind of bond and get that time together and really build that relationship. Whereas the second time around for me, as I had twins, it was more just about survival and needing all hands on deck to get through it. But it was great to have that option to take more time than just the 2 weeks initially, especially that second time around.
For sure, yeah. I suppose the other thing is that my wife's got her own career, so in the long run, it was never going to be a case of I'd go back to work and she'd look after the kids. We were always going to have to kind of parent between us. So I think setting that up from day one has been really helpful. And there's sort of never been any distinction between our roles in that way, I suppose. And
that's great. I mean, it's so good to be able to have that opportunity where you can both equally share childcare duties. And no one has to, take the big hit on their career, as it were, or sacrifice their career for the sake of for having kids. And both of you can try and share that burden equally. Would you say that taking SBL has kind of changed any of your approach to work or your career?
I don't know really. I suppose it's really hard to distinguish whether it's taking shared parental leave or just the fact that I'm now a dad as to whether it's kind of changed my approach. But I think career-wise, certainly, there's been absolutely no impact whatsoever on my career, I'd say, from having taken shared parental leave. I went through the AD process while I was off, so I was put forward for AD, having already told my line managers that I was going to be taking shared parental leave, and then I actually had the interview while I was on shared parental leave the second time round, which was an interesting decision in many ways. But I think it just shows that it has absolutely no impact on your career. And actually, in the interview itself, it was a bit of an icebreaker. We spent a first couple of minutes talking about my time off, which was really settled me into the interview and was actually a really helpful thing to be able to talk about.
Yeah, great.
How have you found that?
Well, I found it, very supportive from the team. There's never been any kind of suggestion that it's be kind of a problem or a bad idea or anything like that, and that's certainly not the experience that I've heard from other people at other firms. It's still seen as a bit of a kind of problem at other places, but I think OC has really kind of embraced it, and I felt really supported with the decision to take leave, and I know others in the team have as well. And it's been fairly kind of commonplace for the fathers in our team to take some shared time off, which I think is great. And in the whole scheme of things, it's a fairly kind of short amount of time, and the impact on the career has been limited, I would say. And there are so many more positives that come out of it than negatives, I think. And as you say, it's really hard to differentiate between, the changes that might come from taking shared parental leave versus actually it's just the changes that come from being a new dad, and and having kind of extra responsibility in your life, and becoming aware of all the other restrictions that every other parent has out there. Particularly during lockdown, it was a fairly tough time for all parents, I think.
Absolutely, yeah, I echo that. Do you think there's anything more OC could be doing to help dads and to kind of encourage people to take shared parental leave, or do you think it's they're kind of doing all they can, really?
I think so. I mean, I think it. As I said, I felt fairly kind of supported through it, and I was aware of my options. I think just making sure that every kind of new dad out there knows that it's an option for them, and support them in their decision to take it or not. It's not the case that people should feel forced to have time off if they don't want to, but certainly I think just kind of bolstering that position that OC does support shared parental leave, and kind of new dads taking time off. It would be a great thing, and kind of help everyone take it all across the firm.
Yeah, and I think I've only really had kind of positive feedback from people. I've had lots of people say to me, "Oh, I wish I had that opportunity when I had kids," and I think there's a lot of that feeling. We are fortunate to be in a position now where, as dads, we can take this time off, and
certainly.
I think the policy at OC is great. You can take up to 6 months off paid if it works well. So not to take any hit on the salary as well, whilst you're taking that time off is fantastic.
It really is an amazing policy, and I think it just speaks to everything that OC is committed to in terms of equality, and giving kind of equal opportunities. It's really great, and I think a real kind of standout in the market.